Oh, breaking news.
In game real time, it's hard to make that bang bang call 100%. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Sliders. It's been a few weeks. Life threw us some curveballs here, and but we're back in the box and ready to swing. Today's episode, buckle up. There's a blockbuster trade that shook the baseball world, and we got all the details and more. I'm Almar, and I have Armando next to me, and let's talk baseball.
Well, let's get into it. We have breaking news.
Around the bases.
Um, Rafael Davis has been traded to the San Francisco Giants. The Giants are giving up four players in total with a top prospect, one of the Giants' top prospect, Kyle Harrison, reliever in Hicks, and Giants' number four prospect, and another reliever. Um, what is your thoughts on this breaking news?
Armando, this is one of those trades that hits like Luka Doncic's level moment. Not just
Yes.
a move, but a shift in the franchise's identity. And honestly, it feels like every week we've been bringing up Devers here in our show, and
Yeah.
whether whether it's trade rumors, power numbers, or just how consistent the guy is, his name kept coming up. Now he's heading to the Bay. I like this move for your Giants, and you're battling for first place in NL West. So I like every bit of this move for the Giants.
Well, it is a shocking blockbuster trade. When you actually told me about it, you text me, and I'm like, I just finished playing a game of slow pitch, and I looked at my phone, and I'm like, oh, this can't be real. Like, but then when I click on the screenshot that you send me, and I'm like, whoa, this is actually a real page, and I was shocked because last month in one of the Giants fan pages, we're talking about uh, Devers uh, playing for the Giants, and I just kind of like I rolled my eyes. I was like, yeah, right. Like it's like this is just fans talking, right? So I just kind of blew off. So when you sent it to me, I was kind of shocked. I was like, what? What is this? But this is actually very shocking because what are the Red Sox doing? I said this from the beginning of the season. I said like by by doing this to Rafael, I thought there was one of the worst off seasons. I thought there was a worst off season for the Red Sox. That they were going to add so much commission and turmoil and division within the club. So I going into the season, I thought this was just a failure for as the organization. But this comes after the Red Sox sweep the Yankees. They're above 500, the Sox, and they make this shocking trade. So what is going on with the Red Sox? Obviously there's something going on behind the scenes because this is a shock. Devers is just playing hot right now. He's carrying the team. He's he homer over this weekend. So it's I'm kind of curious to see what are they going to say. Um, the Red Sox are going to be saying about this, right? So like you said, like Luca, when the GM spoke, he was kind of like, oh, like this future, like you don't trade a talent like that without no reason behind it, right? So
Yeah, it's like
and I'll
Devers
talk
has
more
the
about
like.
it when we
I
get
agree with
into.
you.
I'll talk more about the Giants' perspective, but it's this is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I believe
What's
I
that?
believe Devers is only in year two of that 10-year deal. So this is like you said, it's shocking,
Yeah.
but like the turmoil that they brought in, excuse me, signing in Bregman, when you already have Devers playing third base. So yeah, we mentioned this before, and you mentioned this earlier when the Red Sox got Bregman signing there, and there's turmoil right off the bat there. So Um, this was um, this was shocking, but we were you were right about this. It wasn't gonna turn out good for the Red Sox, and this happened.
Yeah. The only question that I have about this is Rafi willing to play third base right now because Chapman is hurt.
Yeah, that was the I know that's the that was the question I was going to ask you too, because Chapman is on the IL right now with right arm injury, right?
Yeah.
And when the news broke, actually they were interviewing Willie Adames on the field,
Yeah.
and
So,
Adames was like, yeah, Chapman is on the IL right now, and when Chapman comes back, your lineup will be great. But like you said, would would he be willing to go third base? But obviously, when Chapman comes back, he won't be there. He has to move somewhere because
exactly.
you.
So, well, part of the problem is that Rafi was not willing to play any position. It's like you want me to play PDH, I'm going to be a DH. I'm not going to play second, first or second or third. Right? So now it's like, well, you're on a new team. Are you still willing? So, but that's just joking aside, and I'll touch more about Chapman when I get into the Giants update. All right, Omar, let's go. Let's get into our second topic of the around the bases. Uh, Paul Skeens has been a topic for the last month. There's been a lot of trade rumors. Baseball fans has been requesting for him, Pirates to trade him. This week they were talking about Paul, Paul Skeens could win the Cy Young Award with a losing record. What do you make of all this noise surrounding the Pittsburgh Pirates and Paul Skeens?
Paul Skeens is dominating 1.78 ERA, 97 strikeouts in the season, and he's only 4-6, Armando. That win-loss record doesn't tell the full story. He's mowing hitters down outing after outing, and honestly, it wouldn't shock me one bit if he wins the Cy Young even with a losing record. That's how good he's been. But here's what got me fired up when we're talking about this few weeks ago. The trade rumors. Are we serious right now, Armando? Skins is the kind of talent you build a franchise around. He's electric. He brings fans into the ballpark, and he gives your team an actual identity. Yet somehow there are whispers that the Pirates might listen to offers. This is exactly why teams like Pittsburgh stay stuck in mediocrity. If you trade a guy like Skeens, who could be your ace for the next decade or so, and for a handful of maybes, how do you expect fans to stay invested?
I agree with you. Like you make a lot of good points, but when we look at the Pittsburgh organization, they did nothing to surround Paul Skeens with. They didn't add any fresh arms. They didn't add no offense. Pirates did the Pirates organization that did absolutely nothing to support Paul Skeens. They were just content with what they had last season, and this year they already fired their skipper. They have the worst worker in the division, and you know this because a lot of teams go with the same thing. Like and also the Giants. Um, when your ace is out there, there's no run support, and that's what's happening right now. Like Paul Skeens in the last 8 starts, he's 1-4. He he has given up 5 runs in the last 6 starts. Pittsburgh offense is averaging 3 runs per game in the last 14 starts he has made, and he's 0-2 when he has gone over the eighth inning. That's just awful, and it you have to make good. You have to raise the concerns and say like, wait, like why are you not surrounding him with talent? Like it kind of seems like the organization is just happy to sell jerseys. The fans are gonna attend when he's starting, and that's all they're content in. And almost like they don't deserve him. He's a generational player. And honestly, if this is the way they're gonna run him, might as well just trade him because you don't deserve him.
Well, they added Andrew McCutcheon, right?
Yeah, and he's the leader of the offense. He's carrying the team.
So yeah, good point there. Good point there. But you don't give up
No,
easily. Yeah, but like I said, you have to surround it. It's like Mike Trout with the LA Angels. Before Shohei, there's no one there with Mike
exactly.
Trout, right? So what are we
We're
doing
still
here?
talking about Mike Trout not being in the postseason, right? You have to
Yeah,
surround him. When you have a generational talent, you go all in. If not, you trade him to another season, to another team who's going to treat him well, right? I honestly, we're talking about the Boston Red Sox. I thought he was going to be. I thought they could make a trade with Rafi and Paul Skeens being around the around that package because right now the Red Sox have a lot of talent, a lot of prospects that they could have make, or they could still make a package to get Paul Skeens, and that would be actually very good. But anyways, that was just another fan page of baseball that I was looking into when I was when I was looking. But still, I to me this makes me mad that the Pittsburgh Pirates did absolutely nothing into the season, and they're blaming their coaches or whatever for the type of season when the baseball operations or the owner should have done more.
we're gonna get more mad if he lands with the Dodgers, bro.
Yeah, that's so true. He could be a Dodger, he could be a Yankee, and it's yeah,
Yeah, no.
rich,
Well,
rich get richer, right?
yeah. Let, one more thing. Not a Dodger and Yankee podcast here.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, all right, well, let's go with let's continue around the bases. Um, what do you make of Max Muncy making comments that the Padres are they have the tendencies of a rivalry, but they're not a real rivalry. Dodgers only have one rivalry, and that is the Giants. What do you make of his comments?
Look here, Armando. Rivalries in sports are just about geography, like you said, or who's good right now. They're about history, emotion, and decades of bad blood. Just like how no one mistakes the Yankees rival for the Blue Jays or the Rays, it's always the Red Sox, plain and simple. No matter where they are in the standings, that matchup always feels like playoff baseball. It's the same thing for the Dodgers and the Giants. This goes way beyond the standings,
Yeah,
whether the Dodgers were juggernaut or the Giants were still grinding their way through the 2010s, right? Yeah, when those two teams meet, it mattered. There's different energy and different edge, and you can bet both dugouts are locked in. And hey, Armando, this is not a disrespect to to the Padres. They've got talent, they got fire. But when we're talking true rivalries, the ones that are ingrained in the sport, it's Dodgers and Giants. Just like the Yankees and Red Sox, Max Muncy's just said what most baseball fans already know.
you make a very good argument, and and I'm not gonna argue against that. That is true, But there is a Southern California rivalry. Let's just not forget that it might not be a historic or when we talk about the great rivalries in college football or basketball, right, or, football. Um, but this is, I would say, it's not historic, but it's still a rivalry. Uh, Last week they put Dodgers and Padres face. They had a 3-game series on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they averaged for the beginning of the week they were averaging 45 plus thousand in San Diego. So that is fans are tuning in. Fans are Southern California fans are into it. It might be because of San Diego has only one professional sports, and that is the Padres. So maybe the city itself are supporting the only professional team that they have. So, but this means a lot for the fans. So it might not be a historic rivalry, but I do have to agree to some degree when to Mansi that it has the feel of a rivalry.
Yeah, it rivalry right now, it gets thrown out. That word is gets thrown out really
Yeah,
easily, like lightly now. But when we're talking about really true rivalries, it's Giants, Dodgers, Yankees,
yeah,
Red Sox, no other, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah, that is
teams
true,
gets
right?
heated. Like you said, you can say there's rivalry between Dodgers and Padres because of their locations and because Padres are doing great right now, and through the years they build up something, but the true rivalry is Dodgers and Giants.
Correct. Well, Omar, we have talked about it. We have heard this phrase before. There is no crying in baseball. There's been movies about it. There's been quotes. But did you see the Marlins rookie second baseman last weekend? He left the field with tears after committing 4 errors in 4 innings. Devastating for a rookie, Marlins top prospect. What do you what do you make of this?
The errors are pretty, Armando. We know that, but for a rookie like Ronnie Simmons, this is all part of the learning process. It's
Yes.
tough. It's a tough league, and
Yeah.
growing pains are real. Yeah, we always say there's no crying in baseball, but honestly, showing emotion isn't a bad thing. It shows he cares. It shows he wants to get better. That he's invested in his team and his own development. Now, the key here for Simmons is turning that emotion into action. If Simmons can tighten up his defense and settle in, he's got a chance to really help this Marlins turn some of these close games into wins. It's early and there's plenty of time, but this could be a big growth moment for him, and hopefully he can he can harness that emotion into something good.
I 100% agree with you. Good point. Like it's the fact that he's sharing emotions like that. It's because he cares. That's his job. Like so. Yeah, obviously he cares that much that he's devastated, right? Like he doesn't want to let his teammates down, the fans down, or anybody down, right? Like he's also a Spanish player, so like they carry that weight of representing their country. So like yeah, there's a lot of pressure, and I love that. I honestly I don't see there's no shame. Like I love that he was sharing tears because he cares, right? Even for the Marlins, last place Marlins, right? So I love it. So, but it does suck. I saw the game in those areas. That did cost the game, and I was like, I felt bad for the kid. I was like, oh my gosh, like, hey, I feel bad when I make a area on a slow pitch, right? So, but yes, there's no crying in baseball, but I love this. It just shows true emotions, and that's what the
Yeah,
Spanish players carry that emotions on the field, good and bad, right? So
yeah, errors in the game, it makes you feel really, really small on the field. It's like, yeah. And every time you commit an error, the ball keeps coming to you. So it's hard.
yeah, I was like, oh man, like they were just targeting him. That's the weak, that is the weak lane of the field. Like, let's just go opposite field. No, like it. No, that's I'm just joking about that. So, but anyways, let me get my. But yeah, I agree. It just shows true emotions. I love it. So good for him. So hopefully he learns from this and he turns like you say like those errors into wins, right? So I love it. All right, so let's get back for our next topic. Um, on the sadder note, let's go into the Arizona Diamondbacks. Ace pitcher Burns, he's going Tommy John surgery, ended his season campaign of the 2025, and probably the playoff hopes for the Arizona for the Diamondbacks. It's going to be a hard test for the D-backs to make the playoffs right now without the Rays. What do you think of this injury?
We were supposed to have this discussion last week. when this news broke, Armando. Pretty unfortunate for Corbin Burns and the D-backs. Well, I gotta say this firsthand. The Jays and the Giants really dodged a bullet on this one, Armando. Look, we never wish injury on anyone, no matter what team they land on or how they left ours. But that Corbin Burns deal of $210 million from the D-backs, it's already looking rough. Tommy John surgery is no joke, Armando. The recovery is long, the rehab is grueling, and
Yeah.
when pitchers finally come back, there's no guarantee they'll be the same guy. Burns has a talent, no doubt, but this is a major setback, especially for Arizona, who were banking on him to be their ace for years to come. We genuinely wish Burns a full and speedy recovery. Baseball is better when he's on the mound during doing his thing, but for now, yeah, the Jays and the Giants definitely avoided a major headache with this one, Armando.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, like obviously, I don't wish any bad, any injury to any player, right? So even if it's within your own division, but yeah, like where do the D-backs go from here? They're already a struggling team. They're hovering around the 500 mark. I thought they had a really strong pitching and bullpen, but that is not the case. They're putting a lot of runs. They're hitting the ball. They have a really talented lineup, but their pitching has been the downfall for this season. So this is just a big blow. I just don't see them making the playoffs now. They're already like there were one of those scenes like just 2 weeks ago. Like, are they gonna make a push? They're just kind of sitting at like around the 500 mark. So there's too many teams to leapfrog, and now their ace goes down. So I just don't see them making the playoffs unless they make a trade, right? So unless they make they leapfrog the Padres or the Giants, right? Like, or neck to neck that they're willing to make a trade like that. But this is a big blow.
This
And
also,
like you said, there's no guarantee. Some pitchers come back stronger after Tommy John, but he is an older player. Uh, there's a lot of mileage in that arm, so like, and it's pretty much half of the season right now. So like, he could be starting, maybe make a season debut next season at the second half of the season, or maybe he might be shut down for the whole 2025-26 season.
yeah, like this also affects how the D-backs will go with their own pitcher, Zach Gallen. He's a free agent after this season. So with this Corbin Burns injury, we might see them re-signing Zach Gallen, which was probably not the case after signing Corbin Burns for 210 million. So this will also affect how they go about Zach Gallen.
Yeah, exactly. Well, good. Um, well, we'll save that for the off season topics. But you have a good point there.
Hey,
So,
we better look now because like you said, if they can't make a push, they have to look towards next season. Like you said, Corbin Burns might or might not be available next season. So you're just gonna throw in 2026 then? No, right? So
yeah, exactly. And Burns is already making a $210 million. So what do you do? Like, right? He's gonna be he's gonna be around the same ballpark, right? So
yeah,
even
it'll
more
be
because he's
interesting.
younger, right? So does the D-backs make that kind of commitment other for two players?
Yeah, it'll be interesting because they have multiple holes
Yeah,
to fill up in the off season. But like you said, we'll get there once the off season starts. But it's
exactly.
it's baseball season still, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that is before we go to our Giants and Blue Jays updates. Let's end with around the bases with breaking news. Another breaking news: Dodgers announced that Shohei will start tomorrow night against the Padres. What is your thoughts on that?
Okay, we've thought I believe we've touched this during our earlier episodes when we heard that Shohei began throwing. I my stand on this is the same as before. Uh, I wish that the Dodgers would just wait and wait until he's fully healthy. I know artists would like Shohei is eager to pitch, right? But if something does happen to Shohei, whether or not he gets injured with pitching right now, it'll be devastating for the Dodgers. But they're on demand right now. I think I saw I saw a news that Roki Sasaki stopped throwing baseball now, so that's bad news for them. So I think they're up against the wall. The Dodgers are up against the wall, so that's why they're pushing Shohei to pitch. So, but I wish that Shohei can be can be dominant and not re-injure his throwing arm again, and that would suck for baseball.
Yeah, there was rumors that he was gonna start pitching second half of the season after the All Star break, but right now, Dodgers they're in a slump. Um, they're just they don't have the well they have a lot of injuries, and especially with the pitching arms, they don't have no pitchers right now. They have Kershaw, who's who older. He's not as young as he used to be, right? So his look rough. So they kind of need him. They have no other options but for Shohei to be a starting pitcher because that bullpen is maxed out already. So their backs are against the wall and they have no other option right now. So we'll see how healthy, but I don't think Shohei the way he carries himself, I don't think he would be putting himself at risk if he wasn't ready or fully healthy.
Yep, I think going like 4 innings, maybe five, it's good for
Yeah,
just to
that's
start off
exactly
the race. So yeah, but
good
like I
quality
said,
start.
yeah, the quality starts now. Five innings of baseball.
No, I think you're right about it's just a long reliever. That's
Yeah,
three,
yeah,
4 innings. That's all they need from him, right? So
yeah. This is what scares me because they don't have pitching, and then we hear the Paul Skins rumors. I was like, no, no, please, no.
yeah, that'll be that will be torture. Anyways, that is it for around the bases. Let's get into our Giants and Blue Jays updates.
Giants, Blue Jays.
By the way, if you like this content, please subscribe, follow, and like. It will help our baseball channel out. All right, well, let's talk into a Giants update, and we'll start with the biggest news that Rafi Devers has been traded to the Dodgers. I'm still kind of shocked by it, to be honest with you. So, uh, no offense to no other Giants batter, but Rafi becomes the best hitter since Barry Bonds in the last 25 years. So no offense to all the other great Giants, Crawford, Posey, Belt, and Pants, but Rafi Devers, he's a rare talent, and he's been. There's a reason why the Red Sox gave him a 10-year contract, and the Giants are willing to eat that contract up, and they gave up Kyle Harrison, a young left-handed young talent who has his ceiling is very high to become a dominant pitcher for years to come. So they gave up a huge price tag. It's kind of scary because it's like, oh man, did they give up too much? But if the Giants right now, the last month, their offensive woes has been very low. Uh, the Giants have played like 15 plus games with either it's been one run loss or one run win. So the Giants are making moves. the DFA Lemon Wade, which I've been talking about him forever since the spring training. He was out of options. The Giants were patient with him. They really wanted him to trade to turn it around, but like they just they needed Giants needed to shake up things and they needed to put some runs on the board because they're in competition for the wild card and for the divisions. Right now, the Giants are sitting 2 games behind um, the Dodgers for the division lead, and so yes, they're in it, and they made this blockbuster trade, and this is Posey's first year as baseball president, something that Farhan could never did did not do in 6 years. He only made the playoffs 1 year, the old baseball regime, but they couldn't make a trade. They were not willing to make a trade, imposing his first year, not even full year in charge of baseball. He's able to sign players, bring talent in, and make a blockbuster trade. Hats off to Posey. At this point, let's build a statue for Posey. As a GM, not even a player.
Does he ever? Does he ever? I'm just reading some tweets at X now. Apparently, Atlanta and San Diego were looking at Devers to they acquired. So great on Posey to jump on this one.
Hey, Giants make trades like this, right? They're Giants are always looking for the bargain here, and they actually they pull the trigger. But he's a left-handed hitter. I'm excited. You imagine like he's gonna be hitting balls into the McCovey Cove like Barry used to do, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm excited to see this. But anyways, but I think this is I think one of the reasons they make Giants make this trade not only because of the offensive woes, because they Posey said a couple weeks ago when Lemon Wade was the DFA, he said it's time to go. And he said it twice. It's time to go. It's time to make a run. And it fire up everybody, the clubhouse, the fans, the media. Like we were like, yeah, like let's time to go. Like we're in a baseball race now. We're going into the dog days of baseball here, right? So I love this, but I think Matt Chapman's injury has a lot to do with it. Matt Chapman was supposed to be on the 10-day IL list. But then there was a report, he might be gone for 30 days. So I was like, whoa, 30 days? The first report was 10 days. What is all this happening? And then by the end of the week, they're saying like he might need wrist surgery. He might be missing more than 30 days. So I think this move has a lot to do with Chapman's injury. So it might be more severe than that the Giants are saying. Well, the Giants are not saying anything right now. It's just like reports from the media. So we'll see. I think this has a lot to do with Matt Chapman's injury. They just can't have Matt Chapman. Let me just back up a little bit. Willie Adams and Chapman were struggling, but Chapman has turned it on before the injury, and Willie Adams this week has turned it on. He has 3 home runs this week, so he seems like he's picking it up. But this injury really set them back, and this blockbuster trade has a lot to do with it. In my opinion, we'll see if there's any new reports about Chapman, but I think the Giants are going for it. They're competing and saying like, we need to shake things up, we need to trade, and they give up quite a bit for it. But if Rafi can play, look the way he's carried this season and last season, it's no bargain. That's like I think you make the trade, which obviously you did.
You want some drama, Armando?
Yeah, of course.
June 20, Boston Red Sox is coming to
San Francisco.
June 20, we don't have to wait for long. Yeah. We don't have to wait for long.
That's right. They are coming to town. That's right. Yeah. Oh, so, imagine if it was the other way. Like if Rafi was going back to Boston. I
Oh
think
man.
Boston Red Sox, what I've been seeing online, they're in shock as well, and they're not very happy that they traded him away. So
Yeah, like you said, this is the more the shocking this is shocking trade because Devers is with all the money that's been thrown out to all the free agents, he has a team friendly deal.
yeah,
He has a
so
team friendly 10-year deal. So why you trade him? It's like it's like, oh yeah, how can I top up a Mookie Betts deal? Mookie Betts trade to the Dodgers. Here we go. I'll trade Rafael Devers.
exactly. So this is obviously the Giants are they're in it. They're competing for a wild card spot and the division. Uh, but now we have Willie Adames, Ruffy, Chapman, Ramos, Yahoo Lee. This is pretty exciting lineup now, and it's they can make some noise, and especially with that pitching staff that the Giants have. They have four they have four good starters, and they have the number one bullpen in the league. Carrying this team, this is a playoff team now.
Yep, this is what I like about teams like the Giants. It's either you go all in or you don't. There's no middle. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's either it's like go for it. But if you're not, just trade down, right? So yeah, there's no middle here, which is
and
I
and
like.
the baseball like this baseball like Giants fans, if they're not happy with the team, the roster and team, they just stop attending. So like they have been showing up this season. They've been supportive of this team. So like one way, how do you reward the team, the fans who are being loyal to the team? You make a trade like this,
Yeah, and
right?
like you
So
mentioned, and you just talked about it. We were talking about this for years in our podcast. You've been waiting for a 30 homer guy since
mhm,
Barry Bonds, and Rafael Devers can be this guy.
exactly. So I'm excited. I'm happy. I was due to like a sickness. And scheduling conflicts, so we didn't have a podcast the last couple of weeks. But this is what I was gonna just talk about the Giants' offensive woes, and now the Giants make this trade, so this this solves this this woes, and it just makes the Giants team just better.
Yeah, and people are making fun of the Boston Red Sox right now because they were talking about signing Soto and signing Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to team up with Rafael Devers, and they don't have any of them.
Yeah, exactly. But once again, this comes after the Red Sox sweep the Yankees.
Yeah, they were winning,
So good.
and Rafael Devers before the trade he hit a home run.
Yeah, it's crazy. Packing your bags. So that's so crazy. But anyways, that is all for the Giants update. So I'm excited to yeah, I guess I end up with um Giants. They lose the series against the Dodgers. Um, Giants won the game. Won the first game on Friday night after Logan Webb. Um, another stellar performance. And I'm gonna talk about one thing before I pass it on to you. Logan Webb quietly has become a strikeout uh, pitching machine. He's fourth in on strikeout leads in the majors. Webb he's been a reputation of a ground ball pitcher. His strikeout total has been low, but all of a sudden he's striking out players with 105 strikeouts in the season. That's impressive for somebody who puts the ball in play.
Yeah, that's amazing because ground ball pitchers usually they don't strike out a
No,
lot
they
of
don't,
batters,
right?
but
So
yeah,
he's striking up. He's striking out a lot of pitchers, and when he needs to, he puts when he needs to a double play or he needs to put the ball in play for a situation baseball, he puts it on still. Like he has that command. So it's Logan Webb is he's the real deal. He's at this point he has a good chance to be the starter of the
That's great.
All Star
Yeah,
break game.
yeah, that's great, and it keeps the Giants with with the race for the NL West Division there. It's great for the Giants that Logan Webb is striking out people now.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just looking at the standings right now. Boston, they are fifth in the wild card, only half a game back from the Mariners, who owns the third spot on the wild card. So makes no sense why you make this pitching staff. But once again, we'll see what the Boston's organization say on Monday regarding this trade.
Yeah, I can't see the quote from X and who if I'm misquoting you, I'm deeply sorry, but uh the I believe Rafael Devers' last conversation with the Boston Red Sox was like, if you don't value me enough, go trade me, because that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, actually, I did hear that.
Even
I saw that
with
too.
his
Yeah.
even with his reluctance to like move from third base to DH, he was willing to do so. He was struggling at the start of the season. It
Yeah,
seems
we
like
talked about
he
it. Yeah.
struck out 11 straight, I think, to start the season. Don't quote me on that, but he was struggling, but he made up for it. He was dynamite after that, and then you ask him to go move to first base. What would you do? Like, what?
Yeah.
You're just bouncing him around, and he's supposed to be your franchise player. And I really get the frustration from Devers. He isn't a bad guy here. If it's the if people is throwing shade at Rafael Devers, I don't get it. I don't get it at
No.
all.
No, he was kind of like I did say like in the beginning of the season like I did say like when I was giving advice to Rafi, I was like be careful because Boston they don't have the patience and they will trade you away. They were willing to trade Manny Ramirez. They did actually trade him away, right? Like even Manny Ramirez helped the franchise win two championships and they traded him because of his behavior. So, but I didn't expect them to be traded to the Giants. So
You spoke too early with
yeah,
Devers here. Well, it's a good thing that he landed with your Giants,
yeah.
not other teams, right?
No, I didn't. I never thought that this he can land with the Giants, but I'm sure I'm happy that it is, and I'm excited to see it. So, anyway, Saturday
So
safe for the Giants update. Let's get into the Blue Jays update.
yeah, just one more thing before I
Okay.
hop into the Blue Jays here. Like you said, he might play third base, but what's your opinion if he moves to first base then?
I don't see it first base. Because one of the when the there's one we have our top prospects. He was called up from Double A to Triple A. He's one step closer to come into to the big leagues, and I just don't see that happening. Playing first base, and one of when the Giants DFA Wade, they called up a player to play first base, and he's actually doing really good. Let me look it up. Just give me a second.
Yeah, because the only thing that why I mentioned that is I know Wilmer Flores is still playing good ball right now.
Oh yeah, he
But
is.
you, we've been linking Vladimir Guerrero for years now with the Giants, so I'm not sure where you're at still with your first base there.
No, I think the Giants were like they were kind of saying all along. They just need Um, they're gonna just piece it together on first base, right? Because they have the top prospect. So I just don't see that. If Dominic is Smith, he was called when Wade got DFA'd, and he's been playing great. He's been playing great first base. He can hit the ball. He was at one point. He was drafted, I believe, by the Yankees. He got released. This is another player that he was just playing in the Mexican Independent League. Giants saw him. They signed him up. He's just kind of been hanging out in the AAA. Like no one really knew, and they called him up, and he's actually been pretty good for the Giants since being called up. Since being called up for the Giants, Dominic Smith, he has batted 343, one home run, 7 RBIs, just in like 2 weeks. So he actually he's playing first base, but he looks like a linebacker out there. Like he's a big guy, but he can actually play first base. He's pretty quick. So I don't see I just don't see Divers playing first base. I think he's going to be DH, uh, or he's going to be playing third third base until Matt Chapman comes.
Yeah, he's a decent third baseman, but not like a Chapman third base. Chapman's like light years away from everyone anyway. But Devers can plug that hole until Matt Chapman can return.
Yeah,
So like
exactly.
I like that idea too.
So, but as much as Wilmer Flores, ultimate professional, he's beloved by all baseball players and organization and baseball fans. But he's older. He's starting to slow down, not cool off. He's still hitting clutch hits. He puts the ball in place where he needs to. He's really great when runners in scoring position. He still has that 50 plus RBIs in the season, so he's good. So I just don't see it, but we'll see what happens unless they send back Dominic Smith back to AAA. Um, but at this point, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I just
A
want
good
to throw it
question.
out
Good
there.
question.
Yeah, I just want to throw it out there just in case, like, yeah, because Giants and Jays were getting linked together like way back up until Vladimir Guerrero got signed. So that's a good
Yeah,
point
like
there.
it's
All right, time for your Blue Jays update here, and let's just say it's been greedy, gutsy baseball up in Toronto. The Jays now sit 38 and 33 on the season. Unfortunately, they got swept this weekend in Philadelphia, and but what stands out for most of the wins here have been the Jays comebacks. This team is showing real fight. I believe they're just right behind the Dodgers for most comeback wins this season. After a slow start to the year, it feels like the identity of the squad is finally taking shape here, Armando. George Springer is hitting up. Addison Barger's been launching baseballs into the orbit. And the bats are clicking, even with the bullpen not exactly being lights out. Now, there are still injury concerns. Anthony Santander last week hit the 10-day IL with hip inflammation, and that might explain why he was sluggish to start the season. And hopefully, Taters can heal up and get back to doing damage soon. And the big blow here, Armando, Gold Glove center fielder Dalton Varsho tweaking his hamstring, rounding the bases. Hamstrings are tricky. We know that. Rush it and you risk losing the guy even longer. So the Jays need to be smart here. The good news side, Max Scherzer began throwing now and will have minor leagues stint soon. This will be huge boost if he can come up and help this rotation. As like we mentioned earlier in this year, Bowden Francis continues to struggle this season, Armando. But all things considered, this team got some momentum now, some swagger, and we'll see if they can ride this wave deeper into June. But overall, we've climbed up. We've climbed up above 500, which was a tough thing to do. They get close and then they fall back. Now they're 538, 33, yeah, 5 games above 500, which is good. Sitting second in the wild card race now.
That's great, and quietly too. Let me just say that.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, I was like watching just the baseball network and just watching the Jays highlights, and I'm like, oh man, they're gritty now. They're winning, putting some games together. All of a sudden, this is the team that on paper everybody thought that they had a really good pitching rotation and they can make a playoff push. So all of a sudden they're awake, and it's pretty exciting, like to watch them, right? So
yeah. And the problem that they had in early on, which is hitting and running with runners in scoring position, that normalizes now. They've been hitting with runners in scoring position, which is great because you can't rely solely on hitting bombs now. You have to like hit two baggers or hit opposite field singles just to cash in runners.
which is great because Vlad was carrying the team for pretty much the beginning of the season, but now the whole team has picked it up, and now uh, it's a team effort now, right? So that's great to see. And I think where some of baseball media, like, were at the beginning of the season, they were saying like the Blue Jays pitching staff could be one of the best, and they're showing that. So they're a gritty team. I love it. Um, Mostly because of the Giants, not to make this Giants take over, but the Giants also they're a gritty team, right? So the Giants have like 12 comeback wins as well. So like just behind the Blue Jays. So that's great to see. So they're never out of a game.
Yep, and considering the amount of great closers now to come back late in the game, it's really exciting to see the Jays and the Giants coming back from several several innings, right? Like they've been coming back in deficits now, which is good.
Exactly. So no, that's great. Well, that is it for another episode of Saturday Sliders. Keep following us for all baseball news and for your Giants and Blue Jays update.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll roll out another curtain call, and yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully no one gets sick again, and we'll be on regular schedule again
Yes,
next
exactly.
for
So
several weeks now.
perfect. Sounds great.
Thank you so much for watching another episode of Saturday Sliders. We'll see you back next week.